Hey, good Friday morning racing fans. Welcome back to horseracingbarns.com. I'm Ellis Park Mike. Yesterday's card at Belmont was once again devastated by all the scratches due to the turf races being scratched off the grass. A lot of our picks were scratched. In some races, all of our picks were scratched. Today it looks like a day that we'll be able to race on the turf. There's some good turf racing at Belmont if they'll let us run on them. And our first race of the day is on the grass, and it's a starter handicap horses for horses that have raced for $16,000 tag or less. And my top pick is going to be number 6, Falbala. Joe Orsino has moved some of his horses to New York instead of Monmouth due to the high purse structure. And this is a horse that's coming off a win down at Gulfstream for against a little bit less, but he flew home. He's probably going to get a good pace in this race to set him up. I like him on top at 6-1. The second choice is going to be the most likely post-time favorite, and that's number 8, Star Silhouette, who's 4 for 4 this year. His races down Gulfstream were against maybe a little lesser company, but you know, his record at Belmont is only 1 win and 7 starts, so that's a little bit of a concern. This might not be his favorite track. My third choice in there is number 3, JC's Queen, also coming off a win, and it's a 4-year-old debut at Aqueduct on the grass. And this was a horse that ran against a little bit tougher, and she's 2 for 3 on the Belmont turf, so with only 3 wins, 2 of them being at Belmont, you have to consider her, this is her track probably. Race 2 starts our early pick 4. It's a $35,000 claimer at 6 furlongs. My top pick in here is going to be number 6, Star for a Day. Bruce Levine has this 9-year-old. He's a hard-knocking horse. He might get a good pace to set him up. He's dropping from 50 down to 35. Probably the right level for him. He has 2 wins on the Belmont dirt. I root for these type of horses, these guys that just keep coming. I'll make him my top choice. My second choice, number 2, King's Regards. Mike Stidham's brought some horses to New York for the first time. This horse is coming off of a third-place effort against Better at Hawthorne. He has 6 wins at this distance. Like I said, this is his first time at Belmont, and sometimes horses need a start, and he's going to be betting here. Third choice is going to be number 7, Flying Pegasus, Ralph Nix. Horse was 5th, beating only 2 lengths off of a layoff down at Gulfstream against a little Better. His one and only start at Belmont was a second-place finish. So for me, 6, 2, and 7. Race 3 is a New York bred maiden special weight for 2-year-olds. These are very tough races to pick. But my top choice is going to be number 6, Broadway Hat. Todd Pletcher has a New York bred 2-year-old that they paid $220,000 for. They must have saw something in here. He trained the father, Reddy's Image, who also was a first-time 2-year-old winner. He's working well. He's going to be the favorite. I wouldn't single him, but he's obviously going to be a horse to look at in here. My second choice is number 4, Richie's Bronx Bomber. Of course, it's Wesley Ward. His horses are all. He won 2 yesterday at Churchill with babies and nearly won a 3rd. Maybe not so strong in New York as in Churchill, but still the horses worked well, and he deserves a shot in here. My third pick is going to be the 3 entry for Jimmy Ryerson. And it looks like both of them are going to go. They both got different jockeys. They've both been working good at Belmont Park. They both have some win early pedigrees. I'll go 6, 4, and 3 in the third. Race number 4 starts the pick 6. Yesterday's big carryover was hit, and it paid $27,000. So, you know, it was doable. It was hittable if you had a little bit of money. My top pick in here is going to be number 9, Silver Timber. This is a 6 furlong turf race for no one is two other than optional $50,000 claimers. Silver Timber, another good old 9-year-old, has 14 lifetime wins. He come off a layoff down at Keeneland on the Poly and ran a good second against 32,000. Chad Brown has decided to step him up in class. I think that's a positive move. I know he likes this old horse. He does have 4 wins on the Belmont turf. And, like I said before, I root for these guys, these old timers. And he is just a gutty. If you saw him in person, you wouldn't believe he's 9 years old. Second choice, number 3, Precious Metal. Steve Asmussen has run 2 times on the Belmont turf, with both of them being wins. He's been off since March, waiting for the grass. Been working well. Just a 4-year-old. You gotta like him. Third pick is going to be number 6, Talk Therapy. Linda Rice. Horse made its debut race on comeback race on April 18th. Going a mile. Had speed but faded. Dominguez says, I'll stick with him. Has a win at Belmont Park on the grass. So for me, 9, 3, and 6 in the 4th. Race 5 is also a grass race. 7 furlong sprint. 9 winners of one other than. Optional 25,000 claimers. I'm going to the outside again here. And this is going to be my single in the pick 4. I'm going to single number 9, Questing, for the Darley Stable and Karen McLaughlin. I know they're high on this filly. She was graded stakes place in England at 2 sprints out in England on the grass. Won a grade 3, both grade 3s, and she was right there. She came to Kentucky and ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly. Ran a creditable 5th. Made her 3-year-old debut at Gulfstream going a mile. Made the lead to top the stretch and got caught late. I think 7 furlongs is more her trip. She will be my single in this pick 4. Second choice is going to be number 8, Anna Sophia, Billy Mott. A good third in her race at Keeneland off a little bit of a layoff. Both of her turf races lifetime were good ones. She has not won on the grass, but she's bred for it. And my third choice in here will be number 2, Sweet Miss Avery for Mike Stidham. Her lone win was a sprint at Fairgrounds. Wire to wire. She will be in front. Might need to be caught. Her 7 furlong race at Keeneland on the Poly was very good. She made the lead and just got caught late. So for me, it's 9, 8, and 2. Race number 6 will start our second pick 4 here on Friday. And this is a maiden $20,000 claimers for New York breds. Boy, these races are tough. I'm going to go with number 1, Smart Aya. And she's part of an entry, and I want this part of the entry to run. She's kind of taken a little bit of a drop. A couple races against Open Company were fairly good. A little bit over her head. Now she gets back to maiden 20 New York breds. Also like number 4, Gilistana. And this filly has shown an affinity at least for hitting the board. 3 on the board finishes and 8 starts. Some of them against a little bit lesser. But, this is the bottom of the barrel at Belmont, so she deserves a shot in here. Number 5, Private Counsel. I don't know this trainer, but the horse has at least been competitive. Has 5 in-the-money finishes and 11 starts. Actually, this trainer is looking for his first win in 2012. This might be it. Also going to give a little bit of a look to number 2, Destination Moon. Jimmy Jerkins gave this horse to his dad to train, and it's the first time with Allen. She's also coming out of a open maiden 25 and dropping into state bred 20. Rosie Napravnik. It's a wide open race. I'll go 4 deep in here. 1, 4, 5, and 2. Race number 7 is another grass race. It's a $20,000 claimer. 9 winners of 2 lifetime at a mile. And my top pick is going to be number 4, Clear Out. Alan Goldberg, Ramon Dominguez. It's his lone win of his career was at Belmont on this grass course at 6 furlongs. It's been a little bit over his head in the last few. He's only made 1 start this year, and it was just a creditable finish, just an even race against starter allowance 16,000. I'm gonna make him my top pick. Number 6, Dodging, has to be included. Belmont finally got this horse's maiden broken. Its 11th start. That was at Aqueduct. Won handily. Now it takes the logical step to $20,000 or 2 lifetime. It's a homebred colt, so there's no. It's not like they paid an exorbitant amount of money for him. So definitely got to use him. Third pick is going to be number 12, Purge Bird, for Linda Rice. This colt, a gelding, I should say, ran for $20,000 or 2, going 6 furlongs. Dominguez gets off. Was coming a little bit late after having a troubled start. But for me, it's 4, 6, and 12. Race number 8 is a starter allowance for horses that are run for $50,000 or less. My top pick is number 1, Rose's Turn. Steve Asmussen, Ramon Dominguez. It's a comeback race on March 25th. Was a 4th against non-winners of a race other than allowance. After being bothered a little bit. 2 wins at this distance. This filly's 0 for 4 at Belmont, but at least 3 of those 4 races were at a mile. 6 furlongs is her distance. I believe you can dismiss the fact that she's 0 for 4. My second choice in here is Funky Monkey Mama. She's a New York bred with 3 wins lifetime. Never raced at Belmont Park. 2 wins at this distance. Is dropping a little bit in class. I make her my second pick. My third choice is number 3, Famous Rose, for Rick Detro. Had a big day yesterday. This horse is also coming out of that March 25th race at Aqueduct, where she was second. You have to include her. She's only had 2 starts at Belmont. 3 of her 4 lifetime wins have been at the distance. So for me, it's 1, 6, and 3. The finale is a maiden special weight for New York breds at 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. I think I'm going to make my single in this race here, and we're going to the outside for number 12, Chrissy Girl. She made her debut race down at Gulfstream against Open Company on April the 8th and was Betta's favorite. Was beaten only 3 lengths after coming from way out of it and caught an outside post. She's certainly bred for the grass, and she gets New York breds for the first time. Might be the ticket for her. Second choice is going to be number 5, Madame Johar, for Christophe Clement. This is a filly that's had 3 starts, and all of them were third-place finishes. I worry a little bit that maybe she doesn't want to win, but she gets Julian Leperoux, and Christophe is a good trainer. Third pick, number 8, Crypto Kitten. Here's another filly that may not want to win. She has 8 starts, 5 seconds. Looks like she just kind of hangs when she gets close to the wire. So, but she's, at least she's competitive, and she's been running well. Also, you might want to give a look to number 4, Miss Dragon Lady. She might be a little overmatched in this race, but I talked to the connections, and they think that she's improving, and they're hoping she gets a good ride by Rosie Napravnik. But my top pick is going to be number 12, and then we also like the 5, 8, and 4. Hope everything works out for everybody, and then we get to be on the grass today. I want to wish everyone good luck. We got a good card tomorrow, Belmont, for Saturday. Remember that any day at the track is a good day. This is Mike, Ellis Park Mike from horseracingbarns.com. See you tomorrow.